Good morning, everyone. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Let me know as you're hopping on here today. Say hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Getting all those last minute things checked off your list, I hope. I know that's what we're up to at our house. Getting things checked off our list, and also apparently on our list this year was to all get sick before Christmas, because you may be able to hear it in my voice, but I am not feeling very well today. But I didn't want to skip the live because I love hanging out with you guys. I think I'll probably be retiring to my bed after this, but here I am to craft along with you. I hope you're all staying healthy even as the weather changes. So let's say hello. Whitney's not here with me today either. She is with her family who is all sick, and so I'm sure we're all just passing it around. Good morning, Rachel. Hi, Mary. Good to see you guys. Yes, thank you for the feel better wishes. I know it's just one of those things that will pass, I'm sure. Just a little cold, some stuffiness, sneezing, all that good stuff. But I am super excited to be here with you guys, and I'm looking forward to Christmas. I did announce last week on Tuesday that last week was our last new product release for the year. So we don't have any new products today, but I did prepare a project to share with you guys, kind of a little peek inside one of my family's Christmas treat favorites, and an idea for how you could do some treat packaging for the holidays. And I promise both of the ideas are super fast, so I know we're all short on time and we still want to get those little things accomplished. So whether you need to bring a little treat to a family gathering or you have some teacher gifts to give this year, hopefully this will help put you in give you some inspiration and direction to go. So hello, Debbie. Ooh, in the midst of making pumpkin rolls and cookies. That sounds good. My mother-in-law brought over my favorite last night, German chocolate cake. She makes the frosting from scratch, and it is so good. And I think she piles the frosting like, 2.5 inches high on the cake, which is just how I like it. So I have been enjoying some treats as well. Rita says, emergency is a miracle. I have taken some. So, and I keep doing the airborne gummies. That's another thing. When I get sick, I try to just pop those at least. I think you can take 3 of them a day, which I do. So I've got the ibuprofen for the sore throat. I've got the antihistamine and decongestant for everything I've got going on up here. So hopefully it all passes soon. But looks like Sally's just doing her Christmas crack. Ooh, I love that. That would be a good treat to put in my little treat container that I'm going to show you guys today. So as I mentioned, we don't have a new product release this week or for the rest of this year. We're going to kick it off on January 2nd with Valentine's Day, and hopefully you guys are ready because it is a big, beautiful release for Valentine's Day. So January 2nd will be our next new product release. Until then, we'll still have inspiration for you guys kind of leading up to Christmas. And then the week between Christmas and New Year's will be here as well. So I do want to mention though, because we do have something going on at TE, and in case you missed it, if you've been anywhere near our Fans of Tailored Expressions page on Facebook, then I don't know how you've missed it, but we have opened up the pre-order again for our large 18 by 24 inch magnetic glass board. We did offer a pre-order back in November, and those have all shipped to their owners, and we have seen so many of you enjoying them in your craft space. I love all the pictures that are getting shared of people's glass mats in their craft rooms, and I love seeing the comments about them too, just that this is one of their favorite work surfaces, best investment I've ever made. I truly love mine. We're going to craft on it today, and so we did decide to open up that pre-order period again, and we have these coming in a couple of different batches. One in January that will ship kind of mid to late January, and then one in February as well. So get on top of that. Maybe it'll be a little late Christmas present. I've seen lots of you say that your kids or your husband or someone bought it for you for Christmas, and then it'll just arrive a little bit after Christmas. So great time to get in on that. All right, let's take a look at that beautiful glass mat. got a few little things laying here for the project that I'll get out of the way. But I want to tell you guys about, first, forgive me if I have to stop and sneeze or blow my nose. I will do my best to mute the mic before that happens, but if my voice disappears unexpectedly, I'm probably blowing my nose. Okay, so let's talk about these treats that I mentioned. It is one of my family traditions. Our girls love making these. You've probably heard me mention them before. They're super easy to make, and that's why I love letting them help me make them, because I don't have to really oversee the process much. But this is one of our family favorites that we enjoy making for the holidays, and these are Rolo pretzels. So you put the pretzel down on a piece of parchment paper, and then you, of course, unwrap the Rolo candy and place it on top, and then you melt those in the oven, kind of put the whole pan into the oven for about 4 to 5 minutes on 350, and then you remove the pan and you take an M&M and press it down into the middle of the candy, or into the middle of the Rolo candy, and that kind of pushes the caramel and the chocolate down into the pretzel, and it's just one little bit of like salty, sweet, crunchy, chewy goodness all in one bite. So that's what we like to make, and because the girls love making them, I like to kind of get them involved in gifting them too. So this is what we're going to be doing for teacher gifts this year. Just one little piece of the teacher gift, of course, Starbucks gift card in there as well, because every teacher lives on coffee, at least all the ones that I know this year. So we're going to give this as our little handmade family treat, along with a few other things, to bus drivers and teachers and Henry's aides this year. But you guys know me, I can't just give a plain container, so we are going to talk about dressing these up. And this was actually an idea that came from Susan. She did these earlier this year, kind of showing how you could use these little jars and then dress up the top with some of our flowers. So I have a couple of different versions here that I have done. I did one with the rolled flowers. I'm going to show you guys how to put that together and how cute that looks. And then I just tied a little tag on it. It's a Christmas tree that says joy. So this one is our perfect poinsettia dies that are die cut from felt and then adhered onto the top of the lid. So let's talk about these little glass jars. Anybody recognize these? I'm sure as a crafter you do, because we don't like to throw anything away as crafters. And so these are wee yogurt jars. So if you like that kind of yogurt, they come in glass jars, so really nice sturdy jar. And the yogurt is spelled O-U-I, and it's French. It's a French yogurt, so it's called wee yogurt, and I eat the dairy-free kind. It is my favorite yogurt, the dairy-free. Mostly, I don't have to be dairy-free, but I just really like the dairy-free better, actually, than the regular. So if you are dairy-free, they have a dairy-free alternative for the wee yogurt, and it is fantastic. So after we eat the yogurt out of these jars, then I wash them in the dishwasher and peel the label off. And then you can go to one of my favorites, Amazon, and you can just search the maybe wee yogurt jar lids, I believe, would pull up the lids that a company is making and selling through Amazon that fit perfectly on the wee yogurt jars. So they just snap in there. I think it's there are different versions of the lids. This one is the bamboo top, I believe it's called. But it just really dresses up the jar. And we're upcycling, recycling. I think I love that part of it too. So I don't feel like I'm throwing away these nice jars. I know lots of you use these jars for other crafty things. I have heard Lori Craig has her detail blender brushes stored in one of these jars. So they're great for little crafty items too. I have a feeling that we might have some new wee yogurt lovers, just so that you can start collecting the jars. I've definitely started eating more wee yogurt than I did in the past because I needed extra jars for gifts this year. So I guess, yeah, kind of funny how that works. But there is the jar and the lid. We talked about that. Now let's do some jar lid crafting. I think I have, let's see. Oh, that's a great idea. Carol says I make candles in them. And I have 3 of them here that I need to make today. So I've got a poinsettia and we've got some rolled flowers. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rolled flower one first so that I can show you guys how to put those together. I've gathered a few different colors of felt. I've got Red Hot is the red color that I'll be using. And then Split Pea is one of the greens. And then I have Moss Green and Marshmallow. So these are the 4 felt colors that I used to cut out the different elements in my jar lids. And I'm gonna grab my die cut machine and we'll go ahead and cut a couple things here. So this is our roll with it flower, and you will see when this comes out, it comes kind of in a ring or a swirl, and then you take that and kind of roll it together, roll it around itself in order to create the little flower that you see on top here. All right. I do like to go back and forth a couple of times, even though the die line on our roll with it flowers is thicker than a traditional die line. It's designed to cut well with materials like felt, but I still like to go back and forth, make sure that I've got everything. Yep, looks great. You can kind of tell because this outer side of the felt will pull away really easily if it's perfectly cut, and then you just have these inner cuts to pull out from the inside. And if you get any of those fuzzy edges that you want to, that don't quite come apart very well, like you can see right here, you can just take your scissors and just trim them off a little bit on each side here. All right, so here's what that looks like. We'll put it together in just a second, but while I have my die cut machine out, why don't we do another. This time I'll do one of the poinsettias, and we can do a little bit of each today. So this is our perfect poinsettia die set, and it has 3 different sizes of the poinsettia, and that makes it perfect for layering. Now this die is not one of our deep etch dies, but it still cuts beautifully through the felt. So again, I'm going to run it back and forth just a couple times. And we'll pull that out of here. Okay. Pull that felt away there, and we should end up with 3 pieces in varying sizes. And again, if it's pulling away and you have a little bit of excess felt in one of the corners or along some of the petals, just go ahead and snip that out with your scissors. It's not the end of the world to leave it either. All right. Now I'm going to do some leaves. I pulled these leaves from a couple of different sets. I believe this is our Layer It Sunflower set for these larger leaves. And then this smaller leaf, it might be from that same set. It could be from Garden Variety as well. It's a little bit thinner, thinner leaf. So I'm going to cut these here out of the moss green. So are you guys ready for Christmas? I feel like it's the question I'm asking everyone these days. Anybody doing any fun travel for the holidays? Whether you're headed off to see family in another state, or maybe you're just going on a warm tropical vacation for Christmas. I know a few families that gifted their kids with the experience of a Disney trip for Christmas. So we will not be going anywhere. My mom comes into town on Friday, so I'm getting excited for that. I haven't seen her for a few months. She left in September to head back to California for a few months, and now she's coming back for Christmas. So that'll be good. My dad's here, so we'll all get together, and of course Whitney's here with her family. All right, I found my dropped die. I think we've done all the die cutting of our leaves and our poinsettia. We have one more roll with it flower. So this one that I used before with kind of the pokey pointed petals is called Roll With It Flower 2. Now this one with the scalloped petals is called Roll With It Flower 1. And I'm going to cut that out of the marshmallow felt. Who's excited to just stay home and play in your craft room without any other responsibilities? Maybe get organized before the new year. Work on some projects that aren't Christmas related, since Christmas will be over in a few more days. All right. So there's that one with the more scalloped edges. Louise is asking, what are these dies? So these are called Roll With It flowers, and we have 4 of them. We're using 1 and 2 today to make my little jar lid here that you can see. But if you're looking for the poinsettia that's on this lid, that one is called Perfect Poinsettia. So before I put my die cut machine away, I'm going to cut the tags for these. So this is our Tiny Tags Christmas set. It might be Tiny Tags Holiday, but we have several different stamp sets that are designed with sentiments to fit in these itty bitty tags. So actually I think they're called itty bitty tags because this is called Itty Bitty Sentiments Holiday. I'm going to be using the Joy sentiment, and I'm only going to use the Christmas tree. So I'm going to break that apart and cut this out. I think I need 4 of them. So bear with me. You guys are helping me a little bit today with getting my own holiday things finalized and prepared. These will go off to teachers tomorrow. I'm trying to do it a little bit early before Christmas break. The kids go to school all the way through Friday, so we have some time, but I like to give the teachers a little bit of extra time without having to bring everything home all in that one last day of school. I'm sure it gets to be a lot. So we'll get these off to teachers tomorrow, and bus drivers. Our kids have loved their bus drivers this year, so I definitely want to thank them for making the bus a fun experience. All right, 3 and last one. This is Sweet Basil cardstock, which matches the moss felt pretty well and coordinates with the sweet pea as well. Oh, Mindy, you're bummed that we won't have a white Christmas. I know, it is kind of a bummer. I do love a white Christmas, but I also hate snow. So I guess if it prolongs the arrival of the white stuff a little bit, then I'm okay with it. I am not a big fan. Actually, I don't think it's the snow that I don't like. I just don't like being cold. All of those shirts that talk about I'm always cold or yes, I'm freezing, those are sweatshirts that I buy because it's true. Okay, so these are the Roll With It flower dies then. You're going to start, when you roll these, you're going to start with the end, kind of the loose end, not the end with the dot on it. Because as you get to the end, this is going to come around and glue to the bottom to kind of hold our entire rolled flower together. The glue that I like to use for this, you can use hot glue, but sometimes, well, I've been known to burn my fingers with hot glue, trying to kind of hold it all together. So this is what I recommend. This is Fast Grab Tacky Glue, This is an Aleen's product, and we do have this at the Tailored Expressions store just for this purpose. So I'm going to take that first, the loose end of this scalloped flower, and I'm going to kind of fold it over on itself. Let's see if I can hold it up a little bit closer. Let's see if I can answer some of these questions. Can all of these dies cut felt? Louise asked. Yes, they can. All of our dies can cut through one layer of our 100% wool felt. Now, our felt is 100% wool, like I said. So if you're buying acrylic felts from, let's say, a craft store or somewhere else, you might have them in your stash, they will not cut as well. I can tell you that for certain. You're going to get more of those frayed edges. So I would really highly recommend the 100% wool felt. Let's see. Is there any special sandwich? No, there is no special sandwich. It cuts just like a normal die with paper. Okay, I am rolling this, as you can see, kind of keeping my finger pressed along the bottom here so that I can make sure that bottom edge stays level as I roll this around. And then every so often I'll grab my glue and I'll put a little line of glue. You don't need a ton of glue. You don't need it along the bottom the entire time you're rolling it. Just every so often go ahead and put a little bit of glue on there. And that'll help it all stay together. As we come to the end, I'll do one more strip here. And then really the thing that helps hold this all together is this bottom little tab here. So that's what's going to come underneath your flower and hold it together just like that. So I'm going to take my glue then, and I'm going to put glue all along the bottom of this rolled flower, and then we're just going to pull that tab over and press it into place. And because this is a fast grab glue, it dries really quickly. So this flower is not going to fall apart on me. It's just going to stay together nicely with that tab there, locking all of those pieces into place. Of course, you can set it aside and let it dry just a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and do this one. All right, we're going to do the same. We're going to start with that loose end and kind of fold it over on itself. And then I'm going to put down just a little bit of that glue. The other thing I love about this glue is it's actually designed to be stored on its tip so that the glue is always at the ready when you need it. And we'll just pinch that together to get it started. Oh, Lisa says you guys have 10 inches of snow that's supposed to melt by tomorrow. That's interesting. All right, so we'll keep rolling this a little bit. Again, as I get going, I kind of like to hold one of my fingers down along the bottom to make sure that that straight edge of the flower stays straight along the bottom of my flower. Go ahead and stop again and put a little bit of adhesive in there. And we're almost to the end. All right. Just like we did on the last one, put a good amount of glue on the bottom of that flower, and then we're gonna tack it all together with the little tab and then kind of fluff your petals. And there it is. Super cute. All right. I think for now I'm going to put the cap on that. And let me grab a couple of my little jars here, and we'll go ahead and put these together on the jar lids. Now, again, there are a couple different adhesives you can use to put these onto the jar lid. This one I put on with the Fast Grab tacky glue, and it's staying there pretty good. You know, if I pull on it a little bit, it stays in place. So I'm going to use the Fast Grab tacky glue. Again, I'm more accident prone. I have burned myself with a glue gun very badly in the past. Of course, completely accidentally. A big drop of glue fell right on my pinky, and I tell you what, the bed of my nail was injured for many, many weeks, growing back that skin around my cuticle. So anyway, all that to say that I stay away from hot glue guns if I don't absolutely need them. But I know Susan used her hot glue gun when she did a similar video, and you certainly can grab your hot glue. I just put a little bit of this tacky glue on the bottom, and then we'll go ahead and push that into the lid here. Anybody else ever burned themselves with a glue gun? I mean, I know we've all like just kind of, you know, a little ouch on the fingertip or something, but anything where you've been like, oh, that was really bad. Maybe I'm the only completely klutzy one. I even did it at a craft retreat, which was embarrassing to say the least. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, and I'm the one that burned myself horribly. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of that tacky glue on one of the leaves, and we'll tack that underneath, and then these two leaves are going to go together, so I'll put a little bit of glue here, lay them on top of each other, and then glue on the back. And we'll slip that under this side. I told you it was quick, right? So cute. Just dresses it up so much, having a little something on the top of that jar lid with a little treat inside. Quick and easy. Okay, now this one is a layered poinsettia die, and when I put all these felt pieces together originally, I wanted it to stand up and have just a little bit more dimension than it does. So if you see, the one on the right is just felt laying on top of each other. This one here, if I hold it to the side, you might be able to see, I have a foam dot separating each of these layers. So I actually adhered these together using foam tape. And again, they stay pretty well. You don't want to yank on them too hard. Obviously, if you pull on things too hard, anything's going to rip. But I was really happy with how these have stayed with a little bit of dimension between the layers, and you get just a flower that kind of sits up on top of that jar lid a little bit better. So I have here our foam sticky circles, and I'm going to take one and place it on the back of this poinsettia, and then we'll stick that down, give it a good push to adhere it, and then I'll do another one here. And then we'll place that smallest one on top. And that gives me a more dimensional flower. And then to get it to sit up on top of this with something other than just a liquid glue, I'm going to use these. These are our Easy Tab foam dots. So it has this little tab on it to help it release easier. So you can just pull the tab and release that paper. And works for those of us that can't get our nails underneath the foam tape. And I'll just adhere that down to the lid. Again, this one is staying really nicely on all the layers. used with foam tape to adhere those together. Then I am going to use a little bit of glue just on this leaf here. Oh, Rita, you glued both of your fingers to 2 different hats while making hats for Hello Dolly. Well, I'm glad nobody found you with your hands glued together. Alright, so one little leaf there, and then we'll do the other guy here. And then a little drop of glue in the center, and I'm going to add one of our gold glitter drops. So that would be these. Actually, I think I have yellow glitter drops here. Gold would be pretty too, but yellow's going to stand out really nicely. I'm going to grab one of the big ones and just set it on top of that glue. And there it is. You could even do more than one if you wanted to add a little bit more shine to it. All right, well, I only have one more to do after the live, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the tags now. I mentioned I was going to be using just that Christmas tree tag design, so I have that here. And let's see. I'm going to try something. I'm going to just give you fair warning that I haven't tried this before. So we are going to take some of this Post-it removable labeling tape, and I'm going to put these little guys right on there. Bear with me. Again, I have not tried this before, which I should have, but I just had this thought that maybe this would be helpful when you're doing a lot of little items like this and you want to emboss them. So I have these stuck down now, and I'm going to take my powder tool and I'm actually going to powder across here and hopefully remove the stickiness from the rest of that tape. So obviously it's still sticky where it is sticking my trees down to the paper, but this area around the outside, I'm hoping has removed the stickiness so that when I pour embossing powder on it, the embossing powder won't stick to that. I'm going to grab my, I thought I had a little piece of scrap paper that I brought over here. I do. I'll go ahead and put this down. I've got my Joy stamp set up on my acrylic block, and I'm going to use Versamark ink to stamp that on each of these trees. Joy, 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 and Joy. Okay, now we're going to take our embossing powder. This is just white fine detail embossing powder. Easies, you're on board with me living on the edge today? Well, I do love it when it works too. I think that worked great. All that powder just fell right off of my little piece of tape. I've got my 4 Joys covered with white embossing powder. Let's go ahead and put these back, and then I'll leave them attached to the piece of tape while I go ahead and heat those. I am going to grab this little guy. I'm just going to put my one finger in there. I'm not sure I want to pick this up and wave it around because I'm thinking that they might fly off of there, off of the tape. So another great thing about this glass board surface is you can just emboss directly on top of it. I love it. I love it when a plan turns out perfectly. So now we can just peel those away here and toss this. I'm gonna grab my cleaning cloth here. It's not very clean, but it'll at least give me something to buff that excess powder off of my little trees. And then I can't do naked die cuts anymore, so I'm just gonna take my sweet basil ink. Again, this was sweet basil cardstock that we used, and I'm going to use my bitty brush here to add a little bit of dimension around the outside of that die cut tree. Two down, two to go. I told you guys this would be quick. Even the making of the treats took only 5 minutes in the oven. And then you do have to put them in the fridge for 10 minutes or so while the candy hardens on top of the pretzel. All right, that part's done. Let's take my little alcohol here and clean up my glass board. All right, Candy's asking, where is the glass board made? It's made in the USA. So that is a good thing. Proud of that. All right, here we go. 4 of those tags now. The other thing I've been using my glass board for today is measuring. I wanted to make sure I had a good amount of string for these tying these little joy tags onto my treat containers. So I took, actually I'm going to pull you guys out just a little bit so you can see my full glass mat again. I went ahead and just used the bottom of my glass board to measure. I went 21 inches is the length of the measurement at the bottom of the glass board, and so I just did that twice. And I need 1 more of these, I believe. Okay. So I'm going to take and put that around the jar, the lip of my jar, and I'm going to keep the excess here at the end that I want to use to tie a bow, and then I'm just going to wrap the rest of it around until I come up with an even amount on the other side. And if I put this jar down on its side, get in here a little bit closer, you guys can see that step. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in a knot. And then I will string the joy tag onto it. Tie 1 more knot so I can fuss with the tag and get it where I want it to, and then I'll finish it with a bow. Just like that. So cute, right? So easy, so cute, and yummy. Let's do 1 more. I've got a few more to do, so you guys can stay with me for a few more minutes. I will be back on Friday this week. I hope. I mean, hopefully I'm better by Friday and not worse by Friday, but I am planning to be here on Friday for our last Advent Calendar Live. That's exciting. And also kind of sad when fun things come to an end. All right. one more little joy tree. And there we go. Treats galore. What do you guys think? All right, I will bring you back here for a little farewell. Oh, and I have to show you. So I forgot to show you guys. I decided to wear some Christmas earrings today, and I found these at a craft fair about a month or so ago, and I just fell in love. This gal makes the cutest earrings. I'm gonna have to look up her business name because I can't remember it right off the top of my head, but let me come in a little bit closer here. You guys see that adorable? It is a Christmas sweater. Ah! A Christmas sweater with little holly on it, and she made the most adorable earrings out of clay. I've got another pair to wear on Friday for my last Advent Calendar Live, but I couldn't resist these today as we get into the holiday spirit. So, all right, you guys, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will plan on seeing you on Friday. I know that Susan is here Thursday as well at 10 a.m., so definitely plan to tune in on Thursday and Friday.